with Left Coast Q. This is my teammate Mo Lyons, James Miranda, my son Matthew Dalton. We're here in Gilbert, Arizona today for the first Sam's Club inaugural barbecue competition. This will be a nationwide competition. You've got 20 local events and 5 regionals. You have to finish in the top 7 here today to move on to Vegas, and then once you get those 5 regionals, that field is set. Those 5 contests, the top 10 will go to Arkansas for $125,000. Our first year out last year, our first contest, we had taken Myron Mixon's class in March, end of March of last year. I had been cooking barbecue for a long time, but taking that class, stepped it up to the next level. Our first contest out, we finished first in brisket, second in ribs, 8th in pork, reserve grand. That's something that doesn't happen every day. You could ask a lot of people out in this circuit, that's something that doesn't happen, so it sucked us right in from that moment. And we went on with about 7 top 5 finishes, 7 top 7 finishes. We ended up with 2 reserve grands, and we finished Rookie Team of the Year for California last year. 6th in brisket, 8th in pork. So we had a really good year. We're proud of what we did, and we're coming here today to hopefully move on to Vegas.
How many contests do you plan on doing this year?
We're probably going to do maybe, what do we think, about 13 to 15 this year. Majority of those being in California. We're doing this one. We did have a queue a few weeks back, and we will be doing Mesquite Labor Day weekend.
And a few others here.
And a couple more in Arizona too. Yeah.
Now, are any of y'all professional chefs?
No. I have a friend that's taught me a lot. Yeah, he went to Culinary Institute of America. A friend of mine named Max Becker. He's executive chef at Spa Casino in Palm Springs. A lot of cooking techniques, a lot of what he showed me, I applied to barbecue in a certain way. You know, you can only apply so much. It's not like I'm putting out a 5-course meal, you know. But some of his techniques have helped me out. I can say that. So.
Okay. Good luck today.
Thank you.
And we're hot.
You're hot? Okay. This is Sodbusters, Arizona team, Mesa, Arizona. I'm Leonard Rucker. This is Bill Rudd, Dell Hamlin. We've known each other for over 40 years. We went to high school together, graduated the same year, Mesa High School. This is our first competition. We've been burning meat for quite a few years, but we've never done any competition cooking, so we decided to give it a go this time. And anyway, this is our first go around to the competition barbecue.
Now, how did you get selected to come to this contest?
Bill, you can answer that question.
It was the push of a button. I hit enter on my computer, and that was it. I got an email from KCBS that they were putting on this contest, and so I thought, what the heck, let's enter this. So I tried to get in. It was already full, and I got an email, I don't know, like a day or 2 later, saying that there was an opening. Were we still interested? So I said, heck yeah, let's do this. And here we are. This is our first contest, and we're terrified.
Now, what are some of the things in your flavor profile on your chicken?
Well, our chicken.
Well, if I told them I'd have to kill them.
Yeah, you would. You have to kill them. We put a lot of work in our chicken. It's amazing how much work we put into.
Are these chickens you hand raised?
No, this is not hand raised, but we certainly put a lot of time into making them look good. We're using chicken thighs, skin on.
Chicken thighs purchased at Sam's Club.
Sam's Club.
Oh, okay.
We put a little pitch in for Sam's Club since they're the one that's sponsoring this event. But a lot of work goes into that chicken preparation.
There's a little sweet. There's a little bit of bite, a little bit of cayenne, and then finish it off with more of a Carolina type sauce, a little bit of vinegar, just to offset the sweetness.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell the viewers?
Well, we're happy to be here. Like I said, we burned some meat. We all like to cook. We've cooked for years, and we're trying a new smoker this year, or this competition. We have a big stick smoker, and because of the weather, we knew it was going to be raining. We were a little concerned about using a stick smoker, and getting our temp right, so we're using a pellet smoker. We think it did a good job. We've had it going all night. We got a little lazy and just started it and went to bed and got up this morning and everything looked good. Seems to be holding temp real good, so we're excited to see how that works today.
Have you probed yet?
We have. We've probed several times. We've actually pulled some meat already. It's about 8:30 now. We started our pork and our brisket last night about 10:30, and we just pulled our pork.
What temp did you pull?
195.
190. Boy, that's hot.
Yeah. And, well, we hope we're okay there. That's what the guys who know more than we do told us to do. So that's what we pulled at 195 and got it in the Cambro. We're waiting for our brisket. We're going to take it up to 200. We're real close there right now. We'll take it out. Then we got to start our chicken and ribs. So we'll see how it turns out.
Where's your next contest?
You know, it depends on how bad we get beat here today. If we go home, you know, without finishing dead last, we might try another one.
Yeah.
If we win something, we're going to definitely jump back in and probably do another one. So.
One thing I'm really impressed with is with all the other contestants and stuff, how much they've kind of helped us, knowing we were first timers and stuff. They've come up and answered questions for us and kind of give us a few hints. We've learned a lot just by being here.
Good camaraderie here. It just seems like everybody's kind of willing to share, you know, not all our secrets, but just give you some pointers and stuff. They knew we're first timers, and that has been something we were kind of surprised about. It's been really helpful. Well, we did a bunch of guys that have come by and welcomed us, made us feel welcome, and so we're having a good time. Other than the weather, I was telling you we had 100-degree weather here last week in Arizona, and they're going to be lucky to get 60-degree weather here today, and it's been raining all night and half the morning now, so it's going to be a challenge, I think, for some of these guys.
We're smoking up the river, sort of a first-time team. My partner Larry and I first cooked together. We both cooked on several other teams, doing not a lot, a couple comps a year. So this is a little adventure for us to come together on our first little cook here. I'm from Henderson, Nevada. Larry is from Boulder City. So we're trying to figure out each other's cookers and styles and whatnot. And it was going too easily, so we thought we'd have a little rain come in and help us out with that and get our stuff good and wet and find out if we could keep our fires hot and keep temperature in the rain and try to keep the computer fan and all that from getting wet and shorting out and all the things that are fun. This is a stoker, so basically same deal. And we've got a modified char griller and some goofy home-built Weber oil drum hybrid overgrown Weber Smoky Mountains. So far things have gone surprisingly well, considering it's a little soggy here for Arizona. But we're plugging along. Things could be worse.
What made you decide to try this contest?
Well, mostly we're hoping to get through this qualifier and get to the regional that is in North Las Vegas, which is a very convenient geographic location for both of us. It's more fun to go 20 minutes to set up for a comp than it is to go 6 hours, and there aren't all that many comps in Southern Nevada, only a couple every year. And we also anticipated that early to mid-April should be a beautiful weekend in the Phoenix area, but sometimes we're wrong about things like that.
What do you do the rest of the week?
I'm an accountant, a CPA. Larry's a chiropractor. So we've got to do some things during the week to pay the bills so we can go out and get some meat hot and see what the judges think. I don't believe so.
My name is Neil Straughter, also known as Big Mister of Big Mister's Barbecue in Long Beach, California. And we are here today in Gilbert, Arizona for the first contest in the Sam's Club Barbecue Championship Series. It's a great contest. We have all kind of things going on. We have rain, we have wind, we have flying lids flying off my barbecue pit. We were actually on the way up here, and we didn't strap down the lid on one of our pits, and it actually flew off on the freeway. We don't know where. We hope it didn't hit anybody. So now we're cooking with a piece of wood on top of the pit, adapt and improvise. That's what we do. And we're here. We're hoping to still find a way to kick some butt and make it to the regional qualifier over there in Las Vegas. I'm cooking on a Weber ranch kettle and what we call the extra large UDS, or ugly drum smoker. A lot of great teams here, and we're having a lot of fun despite the weather, and just hoping to kick some butt before I have to go back to Long Beach and get back to work. There we have a vending and catering business called Big Mister's Barbecue, and we sell at farmers markets all over town, just all over the Los Angeles area. And when I'm not doing that, I'm making appearances on TV programs. We did Barbecue Pit Masters, and we just finished taping a new show called The Ultimate Barbecue Showdown, which will be airing on CBS Memorial Day weekend. So look out for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. Is your meat tracking where it ought to be this morning?
This morning, although it's cold and rainy, I seem to be ahead. My meat's a little ahead. I've already got my briskets and one of my butts in the Cambro. I'm about to wrap my ribs, and we're just running up on 10 o'clock. So I'm trying to slow everything down and make sure everything's not done too early. A rest is one thing. A deep slumber is something completely different. So we're just trying to manage all the things that are going on and still have a good time and turn in a good product.
Hi, Chris Almquist here, Team Carnivorous Barbecue, Gilbert, Arizona, in the rain. The inaugural Sam's Club cook-off. Welcome to Arizona. Been doing this for about 2.5 years. I'm standing next to the Beast, is what I call it. It's made out of a Peterbilt fuel tank. It's all aluminum. It's relegated to being a rib cooker because that's what it does best. I was a late fill-in for a fella who had to call off because his mom got real sick. So I'm doing this for Porketeers and the folks over there, especially Dennis. Hope to do well so I can represent them well. Thanks for joining.
Hi, I'm Georgia Parker, and we are in Gilbert, Arizona at the first inaugural Sam's Club Barbecue. I'm a table captain today. I got involved in barbecue judging in October of last year. It's been such a great experience. Professionally, I am an owner of a food truck called Sunshine and Spice. We do Asian taco fusion here in the greater Phoenix area. I worked for a large chain restaurant company for about 10 years that really introduced me to food and to have respect for it. And then I worked for a very well-known chef for 2 years who completely refined my relationship with it. It's amazing. And what the guys are doing out here today is also awesome. What I do professionally is that we do Asian taco fusion on a truck, and it's been such a great experience. We launched in November of last year. And we have a great community of people with the Phoenix Street Food Coalition. We have all different kinds of trucks out here in the valley. And if you go to phoenixstreetfoodcoalition.com, you can find out where we'll all be. Or you can go to sunshineandspice.com, send me a link. We're just trying to introduce people to food close up, in person, better than your fast food places. It's good food fast. What I do with our leftovers, my business partner is a veteran, and we take our food to the homeless veteran shelter in downtown Phoenix, so we don't have any waste whatsoever. It's the way we like to give back. That's one of our causes, and breast cancer is another one of our causes. I'm a survivor, she's a veteran. We give back to the people who have given to us.
okay on number one. It had good flavor, but I thought it was a little bit overcooked, a little bit on the dry side. Number two, I thought was very good, and I enjoyed all of them very much. They're pretty much 9 8s and 9s for me.
I like the one that were a little bit drier as far as the too much sauce on a couple of them. The ones that didn't have that much sauce were a lot more flavorful, and depended on the meat to actually taste good, and it did. So most of them tasted very good, though.
Well, I thought the first one was a little tough, a little salty. There was one standout for me, and that was number 5. But all the rest of them I thought were excellent.
I thought that number 1 was a little bit salty, and number 4 and 5 a little bit heavy on the sauce, but I like the meat. It was tender.
Number 1 was definitely overcooked and very dry. Number 5 was very good, and I think number 6 also was a little overcooked and quite dry.
I found that number 1 and number 6 were the two least favorites, number 1 being the chewiest, dried out, and my favorite was number 5, which is the best overall flavor, tenderness, best presentation, as well as number 3 and 4 were second favorites for being, I would give them like a real high rating. They were all excellent as far as 3, 4, and 5. And number 2 was kind of in the middle. It looked pretty, but it wasn't as tasty as the other ones. So that's it.
Number 1 had very good taste, very tender. Number 2 was a little dry, not too tender. 3 had a different taste that wasn't real good and not real tender. Number 4 was dry on the outside and a little tender. 5 was very dry and not tender. And 6 had a very unique taste to it and was tender.
Number 1 was very tender, very good taste. Number 2 was just a little bit dry, but it had a very good flavor and taste. And number 3 was very tender and moist and good flavor. Number 4 wasn't quite as tender, but it had good flavor, good taste. Number 5 was just a little bit dry and good flavor. And number 6 had very good flavor and very good taste, and it was very, very moist, very good.
Number 1 was a little dry, could use a little more flavor. Number 2 had good flavor, possibly a little overdone. Number 3 was tender, good flavor. Number 4, little salty, little too tender. Number 5, good flavor, a little bit tough. And number 6, great flavor, a little bit overdone.
Number 1 was great. It was very tender. It had a nice clean bite, even a little bit of the whiting on the bone. They really went with the focus on the meat and not on sauce, which was a nice change. The second one was also tender with a good bite. It had a nice flavor. The third one, it was interesting. It seemed to be a little bit more vinegary, something that you might see a little bit more on the East Coast or something. Number 4 was great. It had a nice bite also. It had a nice sauce, but the meat was great and had a lot of flavor. Number 5, not so great. It was kind of tough, and I had a hard time biting through that one. And number 6 was also good. It had a nice flavor, a nice bite. You had the whiting of the bone. Overall, really, it was a pretty good batch of ribs.
Easy and simple. They were all good. I enjoyed. Glad to be here.
Sample number 1 had a lot of flavor to it. Looked really good. It was moist and had a nice smokiness to it. Number 2, they were pretty similar. Also, very moist, good smoky flavor. And of the 6, those were definitely the 2 I liked best. Number 3 looked the prettiest in the box. I had high expectations. The flavor didn't quite meet up and was not quite as tender as the first 2. Sample number 4, very average or competition level. I felt tenderness was okay, the taste was okay, but nothing to write home about. Sample number 5 had reasonably good tenderness. The flavor I felt was a little too subtle, not enough smokiness. And number 6, again, it was similar to number 5. I felt the tenderness was okay, but the flavors were a little too subtle and lacked any smokiness out of the meat.
Well, I want to thank all of the cooks for coming and preparing this in the rain. And we all have different opinions on these. Now, mine, 5 and 6, are the ones I liked best. I thought they had best flavor. Number 2, mine was unfortunately a little burnt. But, you know, they all do their very best, and we appreciate them coming and doing the barbecue.
I'd like to echo my table mates' thanks to the competitors for coming out today, and also to my table mates here for taking their time out to judge. As far as this entry is concerned, number 5, I think, stood above the rest. The other 5 entries, while all very good, just didn't seem to match up.
I like number 6. I thought number 6 had great flavor, tenderness, and the presentation of it was also very nice. And I would like to thank everybody for coming out and all the competitors out there. Thank you.
The first one, thought it was tender enough, a little bit dry. It was pretty good. Number 2, thought it had a fairly good flavor. It was tender, it pulled good. All in all, not bad. The number 3, Had a little bit dry, and to me, didn't care for the flavor that much. It's enjoyable, but not my taste. Number 4, tender, pulled good. It had a fairly good flavor. Number 5, thought that was excellent. It pulled good, had good flavor, tender. It had everything there, I thought. And number 6, I believe that would had good flavor, a little more flavor than what I'd care for myself. A little bit strong tasting, I guess would be the way to say it. Tender, and overall pretty good. Thank you.
Gotta get our opinions. Well, I thought number 1 was a little dry. It's pretty good. Number two, pretty good. It was above average. 3 was very tough, but the flavor was good. I kept munching on that one, but just very tough. Number 4, above average. Tenderness was very good. Number 5, tenderness was very good. A little dried out. And number 6 was very good. Good barbecue.
As you can see, number 2 on my plate's about gone, so I like that the most. I thought it was tender, flavorful, really tasty. The first one was okay. It was tender enough. I didn't care much for the flavor. The third one there was really hard to pull apart. I thought it was really tough. It had some flavor to it, but it was way too tough. The fourth one, I probably at this point have forgotten. The fifth was tender enough, but I didn't think it had much flavor. And the sixth one I liked. The sixth one was flavorful, it was tender. Number 2 and number 6 were the ones I liked the most.
You want me to do it? Okay, who are you and what are you sampling?
Troy Black, and I'm sampling some brisket.
This brisket you cooked, or you just went around and collected from some of the team?
This is brisket I cooked.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What did you sauce it with, or what did you rub it with?
I put a dry rub on there. Cooked it at about 250 degrees for about 12 hours until it got to 205 degrees. And sliced it up, serving it out.
It doesn't seem to last on the table very long.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So the local populace here seems to think it's popular.
Absolutely.
And what are you sampling besides brisket today?
Just brisket.
Just brisket. And just as fast as you're putting out there, it's going away.
That's right.